Hello, welcome back, and thank you for joining me today. We're going to continue a very recent theme. Well, it's an ongoing theme. Your power of choice, the power of mind. Hmm, yes. Now, here in the world of chaos, it's just as chaotic today as it was yesterday and has always been. In this wild dream, and it is most certainly a dream. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Understatement of the century, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. There appear to be a lot of phenomena out there. So when we've tried seemingly everything in the world out there, different foods, different exercise regimens, different relationship partners, different jobs, different this, different that. Even here in the spiritual arena, different traditions and modalities, one heaped on top of another because they're all apparently right here. Even in that arena, we seem to have tried everything, and it is not at all uncommon for people to arrive right here at A Course in Miracles, having tried seemingly everything and found it wanting because it still hasn't given us what we really want, the peace of God. We continue to look outside ourselves for this peace, where it is not at all to be found. This is a message that's always relevant, today and every day. Peace of mind is an inside job. It is internal. It is not external. It is not to be found in the world that appears out there, the world that appears to surround us and wobble and spin and all of that stuff. It's an inside job. Ready? Good. It may seem to you, which would make perfect sense, actually, that these videos are a call to action. Yeah. Yes. What this is a form of the call that goes out to all of us at all times. The outward form makes absolutely no difference. This little device right here is nothing special at all. The call takes many forms. There appear to be different teachers. There appear to be different media in the world. There are many ways that our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit, communicates his message. This is just one of them. It's not about the form at all. Again, nothing special about a middle-aged man from Arizona. I mean, how common, right? It's about the content, the meaning, the heart of the matter. This is one form of the call to awaken, which you've not only heard, but also answered more than once. So I thank you on behalf of every single living thing, without exception, for doing that. Just what you're doing right now. Don't turn this off. There's a message from the Holy Spirit for you. If there weren't, you would not have been directed to watch in the first place. So if it seems like this is a call, yeah, it's the Holy Spirit calling you to awaken, calling you to pay attention to this message, to set all of this supposedly precious specialness and individuality aside as not true and not worthy of you. Set it aside. Don't have to do it violently. Gently is fine. Set it aside and extend love and awaken to the truth of who you are. And I do know you know exactly what that is. Exactly. The call is universal and it goes out to all of us at all times. The question for each and every one of us right now, today, in the present moment is, are we listening? Quite simply, there appear to be many people who are not. And again, this is just as true today as it always is. There appear to be people that are listening to the call of the Holy Spirit to awaken, and those who are not. Those who are not, all right, no, not a problem. On another day or another lifetime, even, they'll hear the call and answer it. What is directly relevant is that you're here right now. You're more powerful than you can possibly imagine. And this is not power over other people, as in separation, political, temporal power, power in a workplace environment, things like that, social status and rank. That's not what we're talking about. This is A Course in Miracles, which doesn't concern itself with the world outside. There is no world. That, in fact, is the central teaching of A Course in Miracles, which, interestingly enough, when it's stated, is stated not with a period at the end of the sentence, but an exclamation point. There is no world. Still watching? You know it's true. We're perfectly at home in God where we've always been, as the Son of God. Here, as we wander about, appearing to be 8 billion plus human beings, doing our thing, just doing our thing here in this wild, weird, and roller coaster ride called life. Whether we're really comfortable or uncomfortable right now, up, down, up, down. One minute you could be really comfortable and feel great, and oh no, not so much. And back and back and forth, what we call life. There appears to be lots of conflict. Again, understatement of the century. Yeah, this world itself is a conflicting wish to be other than what you are, other than who you are, other than where you are. It's properly and very well likened to a temper tantrum, a perceptual temper tantrum, where we want something untrue to be true. And we want it so badly that, well, our mind, which is powerful beyond all the credit that we give it day to day, shows us what we want to see. Spinning ball of rock populated by wild screaming bodies. Great. They all appear to be separate from one another. Yeah, fantastic. We want it so that's what we see. You might say, I don't want that. Good. Good. We appear to see conflict everywhere. It's like a child throwing a tantrum, wanting something that's not true to be true. And therefore, in the child's mind, it is true. Not flattering. It's what we see when we appear to look upon wobbling, spinning ball of rock. Very deep, this. You deserve nothing less, by the way. talk for a minute about perception. A Course in Miracles spends a lot of time talking about perception. Perception involves a subject and an object, what we deem to be a perceiver, which is often ourselves, right? What passes for ourselves, which isn't ourselves, and an object. So when we look out with the body's eyes, we appear to see things, phenomena, stuff, people, animals, and events that appear to be out there, subject, object. That's perception. It's dualistic. That's what that means is there appear to be two or more, many more, 8 billion strong and counting these units plus all of the other life forms. Yeah. We look out and there appears to be multiplicity, lots of separations, little individual separation heaped upon separation. That's perception. Perception can be changed. It can be shifted completely. Rather than perceiving separation, we all have the ability, you have the ability to see unity and oneness instead. We don't see things as they are because there is no separation of any kind. Yet it is given us to see that there is no separation of any kind. This course operates in the domain of perception, where it is most needed. This course aims to turn our perception right side up. It is upside down. We see things as separate, 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 which reflects our wish to be separate, 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 separate. What if you wanted oneness instead? Perfect oneness of God. What if you wanted the peace of God and nothing else, and you really wanted that? What then would happen? If we can make this illusion appear true for us, we can see things as they really are. That's what this course is all about, flipping our perception right side up so we see ourselves as we really are. So we see our brother, in other words, all the 8 billion plus units, as he really is. We see things as they really are. We see the world for what it really is not. Yeah. We see everything as it is. That's what this course aims for. Seeing oneness instead of division and fear and violence and trauma and separation upon separation. That's what this course is all about. Clarifying our perception. What happens then? Well, truth dawns of itself. The course draws a very important distinction for our learning purposes between perception and knowledge. Knowledge, you could see it as experience, knowledge of God, knowledge of truth, knowledge of who, what, and where we really are as one with God. There is only perfect oneness, no separation of any kind. So if we're not separate from our brother, we're certainly not separate from the source of all life. Not at all. The ego wants us to believe that we are and continue to do our thing. We don't have to side with it anymore. Once we've fully clarified our perception and see things as they really are, truth dawns of itself. That's knowledge. We call it enlightenment, awakening, realization, liberation, final liberation. It has many names in many different spiritual traditions. And along the way, we may get very, very pronounced and indisputable glimpses of this truth. However, in order to fully awaken, we must fully clarify our perception. So here's the part that the ego resists firmly. And perhaps you're experiencing massive resistance right now. It is the ego always that resists. Until we fully forgive, we will not awaken, won't happen. Why? Because we still retain a shred, even if it's only one single shred of improper perception of seeing somebody as separate from us. It's said, and quite correctly, in the Course that forgiveness is either total or it's not at all. This simply means that as we go about our lives, we can't reserve our little hatreds and disdains for a group of people or one or two people or something that we just can't go there with our forgiveness. We can't do that and expect to fully awaken. It's not total. So here comes our temper tantrum saying, but nothing, but nothing. That's the way it works. Doesn't mean we have to accept it, and you may choose not to, and you could do that and continue to do that for the remainder of this lifetime, and not a single one of us will be able to stop you, except yourself. We often spend a lot of time, way too much time, eating ourselves with guilt, with fear, anxiety, and frustration, which we can set aside. How do we do it? Start with what's right in front of you. If you think, okay, well, I can't go there with this 1% of people or more, right? Or less even. I can't go there with this one person because it's just still too new. Right? Perhaps you were in a very abusive situation, for example, and you just don't find yourself able to go there. Well, that's okay. It is. It's okay because we've all got stuff to forgive right now. Here's the deal with forgiveness that's worth saying, because here's where people throw another temper tantrum saying, well, that means I'm excusing all of this horrid behavior. No, it does not. It means you're looking past it completely to the essence and the truth of who and what your brother is, which is who and what you are. As you see him, you see yourself. There's no getting around that. There's no separation of any kind. Ego doesn't want to hear it. Too bad. As you see him, you see yourself. So we're not even looking at the stuff that appears on the screen of life. When we forgive somebody, we're acknowledging who they really are, which has nothing to do with what they're doing. You don't have to like or agree with what they're doing in the world at all. And you may be called very audibly, very prominently to do the exact opposite of what they're doing. You may be called to a very active or activist role. I don't know. We all take direction from our inner teacher. Forgiving, as taught in the Course, does not mean you condone somebody's statements. It does not mean you condone their actions or their behavior, which may be real anathema to you. And this applies in all aspects of life, across the board, everywhere. This Course is universal. We go to work on our own mind. Who are you forgiving when you forgive somebody? If you answered yourself, you would be right. Exactly. So we show up wherever you are in life, whatever you do for work, or whatever your situation looks like, there's going to be a lot coming up for you to forgive. That's always the case. It doesn't matter if you live in a very peaceful part of the world, in a very fortunate economic situation, and everything seems rosy. Well, you're watching this, so it's not all rosy, is it? Exactly. There will come things for you to forgive. You'll know them by how you feel. Anything less than wholly joyous, anything at all, is an opportunity for forgiveness. We'll all be offered many such opportunities today and every day. This message is just as relevant today as it was thousands and millions of years ago. And it's just as relevant as it's going to be tomorrow. It's, in fact, timeless. Who and what we really are, and I know you know what that is and who and where. Go there with yourself, Son of God, God's creation. Go there. It's beyond time, it's eternal. So, as always, I invite you to pay attention to what has landed for you here. That's the Holy Spirit speaking to you, as always. When something connects, you can bet it's Him. It, I mean, call it whatever you want to call it. It's part of our mind, not a person. So surely something has come up that you're called to pay attention to. Do so. And that's what we're all invited to do. Now, along the way, questions are bound to arise. It's spirituality after all. So, to the extent that you've got them, please feel welcome to leave them here. There is absolutely no such thing as a question that's too basic or too beginner level. Those are, in fact, often the best questions to ask. You'd be really surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised, at how many long-time students of the course need to hear these basic questions again. Because today might be the day where you get it, where someone else gets it. It's a tremendous, positive, and valuable contribution to make to this dialogue. And that's why this exists. That's why that comment thread exists. And of course, if you want to pop in and say hello, please do so. I'd love to hear from you. Questions are more than welcome. I'm here to serve as a guide for you. So, whatever the Holy Spirit has told you today that's stuck somehow, consider it's a message you were meant to hear. And go forth and extend love. All right. If you have not yet subscribed, please do that before you go here. This is the prompt in the corner of your screen. Click that. You'll be invited to join us. Thank you to those of you who have recently joined us. There are people here from all over the world. We're using this technology to spread the love and the message of the Holy Spirit, the purpose of which is healing the mind. Welcome. Go forth. Talk to you soon.